At 9:30. You said you were going to start at 9:30, and then it gets all shitty with me. Welcome to the Browns Wire Podcast. This is your host, Josh Keatley. With me, as always, is Donovan James. Donovan is. Are you comfortable? Are you feeling good in Tennessee?
Go Zags! Go Zags!
Go
Yeah.
Zags!
Sorry, I had to say that. Still, the number one team in the country. Yeah, I'm feeling comfortable in Tennessee, man. It's just still getting acclimated. Just feeling like a rookie. First couple games, getting that rust off.
Rust off.
And I'm feeling comfortable. So I'm feeling good, working, living life with my lovely girlfriend. So,
bro, did you see, because you said go Zags, I know you're from the West Coast, CBS Sports or whoever it was, I don't know, you probably actually have already seen it, the map for the top 250 recruits for the class of 2022?
For basketball?
For football. It's if someone has the map, it's the 24/7 sports map of the top 250 recruits, and 90% of them are on the East Coast.
Oh, like where? Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the West Coast most
they didn't play football.
Yeah, they didn't have football, so California's just got approved to play. But then you got to think like a lot of those guys are not going to play.
The recruiting ramifications of them sitting out an entire year are going to be felt for a while.
It's going to be felt for like 3 to 5 years, that whole cycle, especially with the transfer. The transfer portal might help a little bit, but not really. Because a lot of the West Coast guys transferred, but that hasn't really helped the Pac-12 schools. It kind of hurts them.
It'll be very strange. It'll be very strange.
It will be. Which Zags, though.
Yeah, which reminds me, Donovan and I will be working on an Ohio State football podcast that we haven't named yet. We're still working the kinks out. But before we get into all that, we'll stick with the NFL. This is an NFL podcast. Donovan, you have some listener questions. Is that right?
Yeah, man. We had a couple from last week. And then we had a couple from I interviewed a scout, a former NFL scout, West Coast, AFC West area, a scout. And
That's right.
People had questions from me, kind of like pertaining to like this podcast. It was cool. It was like random stuff that I liked. So yeah, well, they had kind of questions mainly for you first. Like the big question was, you're like, what? What is this?
Who are? No, I didn't get any questions. Usually, I get a few trickle in. I didn't get any questions last week. We did get I was telling Donovan before the show, we did get a big bump in listenership. It's because everybody is so passionate about Johnny Manziel, but I didn't get any questions. So I'm kind of surprised someone reached out to you with one.
Well, because when I did a Facebook Live and a Periscope on Friday night,
that's right.
And I had to cut it early. I'm sorry, people. I had to cut it early. I had some stuff coming on, but I cut it early. But yeah, they had some questions because like someone was like, "Hey, ask your co-host this," and he's like, because they know like I know my Browns, I know my football, but like you're the man. You're the host of the show. You're the Browns guy. You're from Ohio. So they asked. This is a good question though. What Ohio State player do you think more likely would be drafted to the Browns? So obviously you would want like whoever the best, Justin Fields. I don't know, maybe not Justin Fields, but I don't know what player do you want to be on the Browns from Ohio State the most? Realistically, yeah.
I don't think Shaun Wade is a bad. Shaun Wade he had a very rough year because he moved from playing slot corner to outside corner. And he struggled. He did. I don't think he's bad. I think he's got a good athletic profile. Donovan, you've heard me talk about him constantly. He's big. He's very physical at the line of scrimmage. I like him a lot. There's a lot to like. He's a good wrap-up tackler. That's someone I think you can really move around in your defensive backfield and kind of be a chess piece, whether he's a free safety or again, you're lining him up in the slot. And he should be available in the second or even third round, depending on how his pro day goes and all that. I think he'd be a good fit in this defensive backfield.
Yeah, I agree with you. To have Denzel Ward and Shaun Wade. Kind of.
Yeah.
Because Shaun doesn't need to be your number one corner.
No.
He's definitely a 2 guy or a slot guy. But, that'd be, okay. So is there any other guys Or is that
So
that's the main one?
Yeah, that's the main one.
I like what's his name? Tommy
Togai.
Togai. I think
Yeah,
he'd
the
be good.
defensive tackle.
Personally, this is a question for you, though, not me. So
No, I like that. That's a good one. He's a guy with a really good attitude. He is a very highly recruited guy, as you're well aware of. He's a very disruptive interior defensive player. That's a guy that could come in. I don't know if they're going to. They probably do have a role for him because Ogunjobi's likely going to be gone, and Togiai kind of fits that mold. So that's a good one too, and he should be in there in the middle of the rounds. That's probably going to be something that's there in rounds 4, 5, or 6. So I like that one too.
All right, I feel like I had to ask that first. That's a good one.
There's one other player, and it's funny. Everybody's gonna if whoever's listening to this is going to light me up. But I don't think Tough Borland is as bad as everybody acts. He does not have a great athletic profile. He's not going to be a great linebacker, but this is going to be someone who's probably available in round 7, and he makes tackles, and I think he can stick on a roster. We've seen these linebackers miss a lot of tackles, so that might be a guy that is there in the 7th round and may surprise people and be in the NFL for 10 years. I think Sam Penix actually just commented and said Shaun Wade, so he agrees.
He agrees. That's cool. The interaction. Shout out Eric Cumby, by the way. He's the one that asked that question. The other question was, do you think Greedy Williams and Grant Delpit are permanent starters for the Browns for years to come? Didn't say Pro Bowlers or All-Pros, just permanent starters, just solid.
Well, that's hard. That's hard to say because Grant Delpit hasn't taken a snap in a Cleveland Browns uniform. Greedy Williams, I like Greedy Williams. I like both those guys. I gave Grant Delpit, I gave him both first-round grades coming out. I gave Grant Delpit, I ranked him as a top 10 prospect in that class. I was really, really high on Grant Delpit. I know he it was another guy that didn't have the last year that everybody thought he was going to have. He dealt with some injuries. I really do truly believe that he had a very good season despite playing with those injuries, but to say that they got those spots locked up, I don't know. We've had people on this podcast who have said that they've already checked Greedy Williams off the list. They're already talking like Greedy Williams ain't gonna make it. We've had people on this very podcast that are smarter than me that have said you can't just count Greedy Williams out. And then if he comes back, great. But he count him out because those injuries are too much. So I don't think I can count on them for the long haul. Am I going to draft? You can't. You just can't. You can't count on the long haul. I mean, Denzel Ward's a dude. But I mean, those other guys, you just haven't taken a snap yet. It's hard, man.
That's true. Another question was, they were asking about the scout. They said, what player did the scout think was the best in the draft outside of Trevor Lawrence? I tweeted. I think I had like a thread that I tagged everybody in, like you and Bill and Eric and like the gang, Chris.
Oh yeah.
I kind of because everybody had a bunch of questions. Some other people, Sam Penix was in there too. He hopped in.
He actually just commented, "Amen on
really?
Delpit, Josh." Yeah, we should have had about Sam. Sam, we should have had Sam on today. What the hell, right?
Yeah, he hopped in and like Matty V hopped in and basically he really liked. I tweeted it out already, but. Talking to him about this year's class is a little different because he's not working for an NFL team right now. But he said he kind of looks at it a little bit differently. He had more time to watch like everybody because they send these scouts to. He was doing Mountain West and Pac-12 North games. You got to watch everyone. He said
to give a little bit of a recap too. One of the things that Jeff Friston asked you was was he mandated to just stick to his zone or his scouting area, or was he able to scout guys out of it? And you said that his comment was, or his response was that he was stuck to his area.
Yeah.
So that plays a role in what you were saying about, he was able to watch the entire landscape of college football this year.
Yeah, it does. He really liked Devontae Smith and Zach Wilson and the usual suspects. The player that he had really high, more than anyone I've ever seen, or not ever seen, but higher than most people, was Patrick Jones.
Yeah,
and that's
from
what
Pittsburgh.
That's what Sam commented on. Sam was like, he put the Simpsons emoji or whatever it was, like looking back, because he had him as edge number 1, and that was his most interesting take. I feel like kind of on the defensive end. The Florida State safety he didn't like at all. He said he had
Nasruddin.
Yeah, he said he was a day 3 guy.
Why? Because that's a prospect I really like.
He said his play and then some off the field stuff from
my understanding is a lot of those dudes from Florida State don't really care about. I've heard the attitude thing about a lot of people from Florida State in recent years.
Yeah,
I disagree with that.
Yeah, he kind of was talking about attitude and kind of character stuff, but he knows more than me about that. But I mean, his play's pretty good. I mean, he's definitely raw. I mean, day 3, okay. Yeah, that kind of surprised me. Had Patrick Jones as a top 20, top 15 guy. That was a little surprising for me. I
love Patrick Jones. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like it didn't surprise me. He had him against a lot of people. He had him higher than a lot of people. But yeah, I like Patrick. It surprised me, but it's not like unfounding. It doesn't. Oh my God, clutch my pearls. Like, you know what I mean? It was about as shocking as someone saying that they like Justin Fields more than Trevor Lawrence. Like, I disagree? Yeah, but I can see it. You can make a damn good argument.
Yeah, and I everyone wanted to ask me about quarterbacks too. Like I tweeted, like I said, I tweeted this stuff out already. Like his top, I think he had 13 draftable quarterbacks, and I tweeted them all out. I'll have to maybe find them and screenshot them again or something if people want to see him. Or I have an article out about it too on TuneIn Sports, so you can do that. Sorry, shameful plug. You can do that.
Love it. I love it, dude.
Yeah, go over there and
plug it
because I mean. It was cool talking to him for about an hour and kind of just like asking him questions, emailing him and stuff and talking to him. But yeah, he talked about, it was cool talking about the older players that he loved. Like, I've never seen anyone love Jake Matthews more than him, maybe besides like Jake's dad or the Matthews family. He said Jake Matthews is the best offensive lineman he's ever seen.
Really?
Coming out of Texas.
Well, how long was he a scout for?
He's young, man. He's not really that much older. So yeah. Because I know Bill was like, of course, that's the best line.
Yeah. Is that's what Bill said?
Yeah, he's been in the game for about 7 years. Before, and then he got let go. I'm not supposed to say what team. I guess he's.
That's okay. There's a big difference. There's a big difference.
He's young. He's like 35.
Yeah, and there's just a big difference in someone saying Jake Matthews is the best offensive lineman I've ever seen, and you've been scouting for 3 years, and Jake Matthews is the best player I've ever scouted, and you being Bill Carroll, right? There's a huge difference. You know, you see that a lot. This is that time on Twitter where people are constantly tweeting out, "Oh my God, Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback I've ever seen," which might be true. It's true for a lot of people, but they're dudes that I'm looking on their websites and they've been writing for 2 years. Exactly. And it's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, what the hell? Who have you watched? You know what I mean? Like, bro, you didn't see Jamarcus Russell running shit, bro. Like, you know, dude. Jamarcus Russell's killing it, though.
I never liked him at LSU, but Matt Flynn was better.
He really did. If I remember right, he really only had that one big game against Notre Dame.
Exactly.
The Sugar Bowl, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It was a big game, though. It was like 5 touchdowns, no picks.
Hell yeah, it was, dude. Yeah. He had a couple other big games, but that was like
Arkansas game like a couple weeks before that, or like
that offense was just funky. He didn't have a statistically eye-popping game, but he was very smooth, had a giant arm.
Yeah, this guy interview wasn't even like that old. He wasn't even a scout then because he said he'd been in the game for 7 years. So he's been out of the game for 2 years. He just got hired onto a college football staff, but like just recently. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it was cool talking about the older players that he's seen, like a little bit older. Obviously, like we're old enough to see him too, so it wasn't too outdated. Like Deshaun Watson, you know, guys like that. He scouted, and like Sammy Watkins and stuff. That's cool. And I mean,
Sammy Watkins. What did he say about Sammy Watkins?
He just was like he just liked that team a lot. He was at that Clemson game with Watson. And that was before, but
Taj Boyd.
It was Taj Boyd, excuse me. The game watching Taj Boyd and CJ Spiller, I think was a running back. I think he mentioned.
I can't remember.
I think it was CJ Spiller. I want to say CJ Spiller. They had another running back too. Because I actually laughed and asked him about the Safety movie. Did you ever see that movie, the Disney movie?
On Disney Plus? I've seen previews. I haven't sat down to watch it. Is it any good?
It's a Disney cheesy movie. It's good. It was enjoyable. It was a heartwarming. It made me feel.
Was it as good as Cars?
You can't compare that to Cars. That's totally different. It's more like Remember the Titan type of movie. But no, man, it was just weird. We talked about a lot of different stuff. We talked about safety because, like, he said one of the guys he used to scout with went to Clemson. He always be like, "Hey, watch this Clemson guy. So he's seen a lot of Clemson guys. He said it's grueling on the road to be, you get like a kind of like a guy with you, like living on the road in hotels, like a friend, like that's also a scout. So it's kind of fun. And he makes it fun and cool. The team did, but it's a grind. You travel obviously a lot. You're watching tape and looking at 18 to 23-year-old guys all year round, and you have no life. But I mean, he liked the gig, and yeah, I mean, he's got some good play. He really, really loves his quarterback class. So
I'd kill to have that job over my job, bro.
Oh yeah, true.
God,
he loved the quarterback class. He said that this quarterback class is better than last year's for sure. Like,
people are calling it the best quarterback class of all time. I think that's a little exaggerated. People. I think I was listening to a PFF podcast earlier today, and they were saying that this is one of the best classes of all time, quarterback wise. So I
don't know.
That seems pretty intense statement.
The way the scout I was talking to talked about it is a little different for me. I like this quarterback class a lot. It's top heavy. He likes the depth of it, which is kind of different because I don't think. I mean, I love Trevor Lawrence, obviously, and Zach Wilson, and that's who he had number 1 and 2 as well. And then Justin,
he's got Zach Wilson over Justin Fields too.
He's got Zach Wilson number 3 overall. So yeah,
okay. I'm just shocked how much Justin Fields is getting shit on.
He liked Justin Fields, but he said he's kind of like a mid-first, late-first round type of guy. The
problem with Justin Fields, and I'm seeing a lot of people talk about him making reads too slow. You've heard that, right?
I've heard that, and
he doesn't make his second progression. That Ohio State offense is very simple, and 90% of the time his first read is open because it was Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if it's that he can't; it's just that he doesn't. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've been watching Justin for a while, man. Obviously, like from back in high school, and like Justin's been this good. Like it's like not like it's out of the blue. Like Justin, this is how Justin Fields played in high school, like the exact same way. He did the exact same things. He hasn't really. I'm not gonna say he's not gotten better because obviously he has, but like he's doing the same things I saw him do his junior year, like in high school. Like,
yeah,
and Kenneth saw some. I'm not surprised by what he does. I don't know about the X's and O's he can do on the boards and stuff. That's different. I'm not with him on the chalkboard or the whiteboard or whatever. But
it was. I believe it was Jeff who would say. I can't remember who said. Maybe it was Bill. I don't know. That you want to scout a player based off of what he can do and not off of what he can't do. Right. So just because we haven't seen Justin Fields. He hasn't needed to add that portion into his repertoire as much as some of these other quarterbacks in the class. But Mac Jones doesn't either. Jones ain't doing that shit.
He had Mac Jones ahead of Justin Fields on his quarterback list.
I'm blown away by that because Mac Jones has the exact same issues as Justin Fields or the exact same criticism as Justin Fields. Only Mac Jones doesn't have any of the mobility. Zach Wilson, I'm understanding. Zach Wilson is more or less. My understanding is that people are falling in love with him based off of the analytics, right? Like based off of his percentage and catchable passes and blah 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 blah. But I just
ball placement is.
I'm just surprised Justin Fields getting shit on.
Zach Wilson has and I'm a huge Trevor Lawrence guy, like through and through. I think he's the best quarterback, like. Stamp approval, but Zach Wilson's ball placement is better than everybody. But Zach Wilson's ball placement is better than everybody I've seen in last year's draft, except Joe Burrow. I mean, Zach Wilson's ball placement is because he puts it on you, man. Like you can't drop his passes because they're just like when he throws it, they're right there, dude. And he throws in those tight windows. And Zach's more fun to watch than most of these guys too. You got to put that in because the media is going to go with the fun guy, like. Always. Man, Zach Wilson. If you throw on a tape of Zach Wilson, he's going to do the backyard, Mahomes, Russell Wilson, cool, Watson, all the quarterbacks that, the kids like. It's Zach Wilson.
I'm not done with my quarterback grades yet. Honestly, I haven't really gotten down to the nitty-gritty of it because it's weird not doing that because being the Browns, you're so used to doing it every year. I'm used to having my quarterback. I'm used to having my quarterback grades done by December, really.
That's true.
But this year, I haven't really sat down and decided who I like better than who. I'm just surprised that Justin Fields is getting shit on as much as he is. But regardless, it is what it is. Did you have anything else to add before we moved on? I kind of cut you off there because I got a little excited about the quarterback talk.
No, it was cool talking about quarterbacks with him. I didn't really have anything else. It's just like he really talked about the quarterbacks as far like Trey Lance too, as another good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Davis Mills, who's kind of gaining a lot of steam lately.
I don't know why.
I was a part of that train though. I started that, so thank you. No, I'm just kidding. I like.
I don't know. I don't know what he did to light people on fire. I don't know what happened there.
I think Davis is just smart. Well, I don't know if these teams have talked to these quarterbacks yet, but if you talk to Davis Mills for 2 seconds, dude, you're gonna be like, "Holy crap, this is the smartest guy I've ever met in my life."
You know what?
I mean, he's so smart, man. He's he's a double major, Stanford, all this sociology, mate. He's really smart. I don't know about his, how smart he's on the field. It seems like he doesn't really make mistakes, but he doesn't wow you with stuff. But he's a 4th, 5th round guy, but he hasn't been healthy, man. That's the thing about Davis. I think Davis could have been a lot higher if he had to stay healthy, but I don't know.
Well,
we'll see.
That's right around the range the Browns might start looking.
For a backup.
With Case Keenum getting up there in age, it might be a good idea to start figuring out who Baker's backup's going to be. A guy that I saw our editor Jeff Risdon mock to the Browns, and I actually like it, was Ian Book from Notre Dame. He another guy that gets shit on a lot because I don't know. They expect every person from Notre Dame to be God's gift to football, but we talked about Ian Book. I was very negative on Ian Book. If you remember during the season, I bet against Notre Dame quite often because of Ian Book, but he had some games where he played lights out, where he put the team on his back. He has a very similar play style to Baker. He runs around. I just think he's kind of that would be an interesting look if he's available there in the 6th, 7th round, which he should be.
No, the last thing I will say that's funny, I did ask the scout just for the Browns show, in the Browns Wire, what players do you think the Browns should take? Of course, I had to ask him that. And he kind of was just I don't know what the Browns need necessarily. That's different. I don't know about the Browns enough, but he definitely was saying that backup quarterback was one, so they should look at he was mentioning Davis Mills. He said receiver, and a couple linemen up front and a corner. So that was kind of some of the stuff he mentioned they need, which is the same stuff we always know they need. But he didn't mention, oh God, I asked him who their 1st round pick should be, and he kind of just I'm not gonna say who their 1st round pick should be. That's too hard of a question. But he just named 5 positions, and I was like, okay, well, he's not gonna answer this. So try to get some stuff for the Browns, man. He said the Browns don't have many needs though. He's they're a pretty complete team. They're young. He's they don't really have too many glaring needs, which is true. They don't have that many.
There's a few. They're a couple players away. We talked about how weak that defense is.
Are they a J.J. Watt away?
No, they need more than that.
That's fair. That was
they got their linebackers. We talked about their linebackers being booty. We talked about you just asked if 2 guys who've never taken a snap in Cleveland
they're young.
Are go-to players. Yeah, but that's not,
Those guys might develop into something special, hopefully.
Or they might not.
Yeah, true.
It was 50-50, bro.
Because I forget how young the Browns are, though. They're one of the 10 youngest teams in the NFL.
Is that right?
Yeah. Shout out to Justice for having the ages of teams. He's Justice. Great. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes I don't like him, but sometimes I do. Sorry, Justice.
Live on Twitter.
He might actually listen to this.
Possibly, bro. It depends if he's a Johnny Manziel fan. That's where all of our listeners. That's where all the listeners come from.
I like Justice. He's just super analytical, dude. My major was sports marketing analytics, but he's only analytics matter, nothing else. I'm dude,
gotta find that happy medium, bro.
Exactly.
Gotta find that happy medium.
But yeah, that's all for me. That was cool to interview him, but
thanks. All right. Well, we're going to make this podcast rather short. We got a big podcast next week. We got the OBR's own Jake Burns going to be joining us. Jake, I just saw our friend Mac tweet out that Jake was on his podcast this week. That's son of a bitch stole our idea. But no, Jake's going to be joining us next week, and we're going to be talking even more Browns football, even more free agency draft news. But until then, let's break down something interesting, Donovan. Last week we talked about the Browns making a move for an edge rusher. We've been talking a lot about them addressing that need in the draft. With J.J. Watt now on the market, okay, and it kind of being unavoidable that he's been the talk of the town, who do you view as your top 10 perfect fits as an edge rusher for the Cleveland Browns in free agency? I have my list. I'd like to go. Let's go a little back-to-back style. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
It's you, man. It's a Keatley show.
You sure? Because this one's a layup, bro.
Go ahead.
J.J. Watt, dude. J.J. Watt is right. I know he's 31 years old. He's dealt with some injuries last few years. He's definitely not the same player he was 3-4 years ago. Still very, very good. PFF. I looked up his PFF grade. He had the 7th highest edge rusher rating for PFF last year. That's still very good. I would say borderline elite. You're looking at a guy that's going to want about $13 million a year. Again, I looked at multiple sources that have him in that range, 12 to 14. So I just picked it in the middle. That should be affordable for the Browns if they're looking to make a move. So yeah, I think that's probably my number one option. What do you think?
I had Shaquille Barrett.
That's your number one option?
Yeah.
Now, see, he's good. I didn't even put him on my list because he's going to be $75 billion, right?
Yeah, but
what, did you by chance look up how much he's going to be going for?
It's going to be, top dollar, not 100 million, nothing like that. But yeah, probably about 60, right? 70.
I don't know. What give us a breakdown of what you see.
JJ Watt is probably number one because you're only got to sign JJ Watt to a 1 or 2 year deal. Shaq Barrett's gonna be looking for a 4 or 5 year deal. This is his last big contract. Shaq Barrett's 29, I believe. JJ Watt would be 32 start of the season. Barrett would be 29. He just came off a great season, even though he's hurt. Came off a great season, so he's gonna be asked for a lot of money. But I think. Yeah, he's going to go to the Browns, probably not. He's probably go back to Tampa. But he's going to go to a contender because he just won the Super Bowl. So he's not going to go to a trash team.
But wouldn't that be the time to go to a trash team?
Yeah.
Because he's just want to get paid
that
now,
money.
right?
Yeah. True.
I just looked up PFF has his projected contract at $18 million per year. So that's a pretty substantial jump.
For 4 years, too, probably 4 or 5 years, I'd say. 18.
Yeah, but another thing, too, to consider about Shaq Barrett is I don't really know how he fits what Cleveland is doing. He's more of an outside linebacker.
Yeah, he'd play outside linebacker.
You know what I mean? He fits that weird. He's definitely an edge rusher, but he's not. JJ Watt is.
He fits more.
Shit, you can move him on the inside if you absolutely have to. At 6'2", 250, Shaq Barrett is not your typical. He's going to be a stand-up defensive end.
That's true.
I don't know. Obviously he's a stud, so it wouldn't be. It's not like
you're gonna shoot for heavy, right? I don't know the Browns cap room situation, but it seems like now
I'm terrible. I'm terrible at knowing the cap. I just saw that he was significantly higher than everybody else.
Just with all those young guys they haven't paid it on the team. I feel like this would be kind of maybe a good time to go after a big name player like this, because you don't Tristan Wirfs. You don't have to pay him yet. You know what I mean? You can wait on
Tristan Wirfs.
It's not Tristan Wirfs, excuse me. I'm thinking about Tampa Bay too much. The top pick for
Jedrick Wills?
Jedrick Wills, yeah, excuse me. Tristan Wirfs. I had them 1A, 1B in the draft last year. But anyway, yeah, Jedrick Wills. Those guys coming up, you don't have to pay. You're gonna have to pay Denzel. Obviously, that's gonna happen. There's the guys you're gonna have to pay, but we'll see. JJ Watt, that's more realistic than Shaquille Barrett for sure, but.
My number 2 option was Carl Lawson. Most recently played for the Cincinnati Bengals, 25 years old. He had a fantastic rookie season in 2017 after being drafted in the 4th round. I actually gave him, fun fact, I gave him a 1st round grade that year, believe it or not. And he played up to that. He was definitely on the all rookie team. He was fantastic. He's a great pass rusher. I wouldn't say he's a liability against the run, but that's not his finest point. This is a guy that PFF has as a projected $14 million per year contract, so it's higher than Watt, but that's because he's significantly younger than Watt. This is a guy I think he's been quality. I think he steps in and makes an impact immediately. Donovan, who's your number 2 guy?
JJ Watt. So
Really?
yeah, we already. I mean, everybody.
Who's up? Who you got after him?
Lawson.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Who you got after him?
Ryan Kerrigan.
Ryan Kerrigan. That's a good one. I didn't even think about, dude.
I'm a huge Ryan Kerrigan fan.
Yeah.
I feel like he's always been undervalued. He's had some injuries, kind of a late lad. I mean, really, he's like I feel like he's a. Is this wrong to say he's like a poor man's JJ Watt? Not. Yeah, that's not. JJ Watt's won 3 Defensive Players of the Year, and he's a Hall of Famer. Kerrigan's not on that level. He's not poor man's, but he's
good though. He is good. I mean, he dealt with some injuries, so that kind of knocked him off a little bit. But it's not, he
dealt with injuries, but I mean, because this year he only had 5.5 sacks. You can kind of see his play decline.
He's actually older than Watt too.
30? Is he 32? 33?
Yeah, 32.
Well, yeah, Watt would be 32 by the start of the season, though. So I think they're like
whatever. But that's a great pick.
Kerrigan's just as beat up as Watt. I mean, he's had a lot of injuries, man. Maybe not nearly as many surgeries.
He might be more beat up than Watt, but
yeah, he might be.
Either way, you might be able to get him for under 10 mil. That's a good one. I like that one. That's a very good one. Ryan Kerrigan still has some juice.
Good locker room fit. Kind of has that tenacity just he definitely wants to be on a winner, kind of maybe the opposite of Barrett. I was saying a guy he's already made his big money. Now it's time to go play for a big time winner. He's won some. I guess he's been in the playoff a few times with Washington, but he's never won anything.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good pick. My number 3 pick, it's funny because Jeff Risen, our editor, wrote an article about the top edge rushers that the Browns need to go for. And he had a do not go after list. And Jadeveon Clowney was on his do not go after list. Well, he's number 3 on my list. Only 28 years old. Probably going to be right there in that Watt price range again at 13 mil. But again, we know Jadeveon Clowney. He's a guy with the elite physical traits that doesn't necessarily translate as a pass rusher. He's not bad as a pass rusher. He's just not elite as a pass rusher, like the 2 other guys that I listed. But you don't need him to be a great pass rusher. You're looking for someone to pair with Myles Garrett and take the focus off him. Again, at 28 years with his physical ability, I think it'd be an interesting fit.
I like that one. That was next on my list, actually, him. And then I had Leonard Williams.
Leonard Williams. That's also a good one.
He fits on that team, man. And he's still only 27. He was young when he came out. He's
more of an interior player, though. I will say. He's not an edge rusher.
He's not a pure edge, no. He's more of an interior guy. But I like Leo coming out of USC, obviously, and he definitely didn't live up to, a top 5 pick or anything like that. And he's had some kind of, people call him lazy or whatever the case may be. That's fine, but he's still 27. He kind of had a pretty good year last year, honestly. Like he kind of came into his own.
Fantastic.
He's coming into his own a little bit late. So I think that'd be kind of one of those steals. Like you're paying him kind of definitely under $8 million. I would say, right?
I was looking it up as you were talking. PFF says it's going to be $20 million a year
for Leo.
That's what they have him rated as, $20 million a year. I think it's because he's so young and he does play on the interior. I think that it's he has that capability to play on the interior, and there's not a lot of guys in the free agency class that can. And the draft is a super hot. I mean, Christian Barmore's probably the best interior guy, and he's not going to go until pick after 25. So I think that ups his value a little bit.
That makes sense.
But Leonard, I don't know though, dude. I'm so bad when it comes to cap and projections and all that. But Leonard Williams is fantastic. That's a guy that he gets shit on a little bit because he, like you said, was drafted so high. But he's not a bust. If he was drafted number 15 overall, no one would be saying shit. He's a very, 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 very effective run stuffer. And I think because he's not a pass rusher, obviously that's kind of limiting how much exposure he gets as a star. But he's a badass. That's a good pick. I like that.
He is. Yeah, he, like I said, first couple of years, I thought he was going to be a bust. It was pretty bad. Just a lack of effort and stuff like that, or whatever. But, I mean, he was 20, kind of young on that team. We kind of expected a lot of him early on. And, he's coming to his own, though. So, yeah, that'd be a good one.
Big fan. My number 4 guy is Yannick Ngakoue, 25 years old. We know about Yannick. We know that he's been very Very, very solid. He's a solid pass rusher. When the Vikings added him, for some reason there was this narrative going around that he was going to be this explosive, game-changing defensive end, and he is game-changing, but he's not an elite pass rusher. I don't know where that narrative came from.
He's a playmaker.
This was listed as. I was surprised by how expensive PFF projected him to be at $18 million per year. I think it's because he's so young. But even with that, I don't. That's just that number's kind of hard for me to believe. But I think he'd be a really good fit with Cleveland.
Yeah, Unique Ngakwe is great. That'd be a good one. I didn't see that's a guy that kind of like Barrett. Can they afford him? Because I knew he'd be like 20, 25. And he's a I don't say special talent, but he's a really good player. He's instinctive.
Yes.
He's a playmaker. So a lot of batted balls and just instinctive plays, tackling for loss or fumbles, stuff like that. So he's a playmaker, man. I like him. He can definitely make some plays and kind of change what you're doing. Obviously watching with the Jags and the Ravens. I think the Ravens should definitely try to sign him and Matthew Juden back. Judon, who also is on my list.
Oh, really?
Guys, yeah.
Well, who's your next guy? Is it Judon?
It was Unique Ngakwe and then Judon.
Oh, okay.
And then go ahead. I don't want to say and then because I have.
But so your next guy is Judon that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, Matthew Judon. Not Juden, Judon.
What do you think about him? What do you think about his fit?
I think he fits, but money wise, he's gonna be asking for top dollar too. I feel like
he's another guy. I don't know. He's kind of short. I thought he's more of he's kind of in that Shaquille Barrett stand up role. He can be very productive. He was very productive. I remember him coming out of Grand Valley State. I don't like I said there's some I have some question marks about him. Like I did with I have some questions and marks about his fit like I did with Shaquille Barrett.
That's fair. So he's just playing the outside linebacker role.
He's a stand-up guy. I don't know. I think the Browns they would rather have a guy like J.J. Watt. They would rather have, if you're looking at those tweener guys, they'd rather have a guy that can slide inside than it's going to be stand-up. My number 5 guy is Melvin Ingram. Again, another guy who's over 30 or 31 years old. He's been fantastic. The last 4 or 5 years, last 3 years, he's been really great. Ever since basically the Chargers drafted Joey Bosa, he hasn't been the only guy in that defensive line. He's been fantastic. He's like one of the most underrated players in the NFL. He don't have a whole lot left in his tank, obviously being over 30. But this is a guy I think that they could add for PFF ranks at $10 million a year. So that's so far the cheapest guy that I've named. And again, he's a Pro Bowl caliber player on the opposite end of Myles Garrett.
All right, I like Melvin Ingram. Yeah, and I think he still has some juice left. Obviously not going to be a Pro Bowl type player.
He was great last season.
Yeah, he's good. Especially, he doesn't have to be the man. Like he has
exactly
Miles next to him. So Miles and Melvin, that could be a good fit together. I had Trey Hendrickson.
I like that. I have him on my list too.
I like Trey Hendrickson a lot, man. Louisiana Tech, is that where he went to school?
I thought it was Florida Atlantic, but maybe I'm wrong.
You're probably right.
Because I think he's from Florida.
Yeah. You're right. Not LA Tech.
Yeah, Florida Atlantic, yeah.
Yeah, Florida Atlantic. I like him. I don't know, like I said, PFF. You have the PFF numbers in front of you. That's really helpful.
I do not. I've been Googling him real fast. Trey's
gonna ask for a lot, man.
But I'm sorry. I already wrote him down, so I do have his numbers in front of me. $12 million a year.
I thought it'd be more than that.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I know. I don't know how they do it. I don't know
how that Leo number surprised me, but you kind of explained it where like this class for inside guys is not good at all.
Pulling it out of my ass though. I'm pulling it out of my. I don't know where they get these numbers. That's just that's me justifying what they have.
Yeah, well, Trey Hendrickson, yeah, because the agents got to do their magic and stuff too. So yeah, I get that. That's a good one though. And the next guy I had was Melvin Ingram. That's probably the last guy I had on my list.
Well, Trey Hendrickson is a good one. Only 26 years old, had a magnificent last season. Yeah. I'd be all for that. My number 6 guy was Bud Dupree, 28 years old. We obviously Browns fans are very familiar with him and his work. He had a badass 2019. Last season he dipped a little bit. A lot of that was due to injury, but he's still fantastic. And PFF says his projected contract's only going to be $10 million a year because of the injury. Dude, I'd sign him. sign him in a second. I think he's a good fit.
Yeah, I mean he's a good fit. Yeah, Browns fans are definitely familiar with him.
Yeah,
always been a good like watching him. Liked watching him at Kentucky.
Yeah,
and always playing with the Steelers. But yeah, he's injury prone. But I mean, a lot of these.
Well, is he really injury prone? He just had one bad injury.
It's pretty.
I mean, how much time has he missed though?
Did he have some medicals coming out of college?
I didn't think so.
I thought he had some medical stuff.
That'll take too long to Google. I can certainly try, but I think that's good too.
Yeah, I thought he did, but I could be wrong for sure. But
he suffered a groin injury at the combine.
I knew it was something like that.
Yeah, but I don't.
I just remember. Yeah, that's not really injury prone. J.J. Watt and Ryan and Kerrigan are injury prone.
Yeah, and I don't even say I don't know. Injury prone it to me is like I don't know. Like Peter Warrick was injury prone, right? Like every time he stepped on the field, there was something torn or messed up. RG3 was injury prone.
RG3. Yeah.
Those guys. J.J. Watt is he's getting worn down. Right? I mean, I think he made it. He made it through the entire season last season. It ain't like he got hurt last season. But he's over 30, so now when he gets hurt, he's done.
I heard he trains too hard too, because like Shannon Sharp was talking about how, when you're after 30, dude, you got to stop training as hard. Like you don't have to go as hard training. Like you need to slow down a little bit in your training and like workout regimen, which is kind of true. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm not a world class athlete.
Yeah,
I've just heard that you cannot get. I mean, because you're lifting weights, you're not just doing like workout drills. You're like JJ Watt's doing the tire drills and stuff. Like he's crazy, dude. He's insane. I love JJ.
I do not have the understanding of how our bodies work to comment on whether or not what the level of training you should be is. I do think that once, I'm not a professional athlete, but when I was in college, I did mess up my shoulder pretty bad. If I bench wrong, you know what I mean? Like, so if you're a professional athlete and you're over 32, I feel like once you do something once and you hit that age, it's always going to be, I just think it's always there. It's just easier to mess up the next time and the next time and the next time.
Yeah.
And I think Kerrigan and Watt are kind of at those ages, but again, I don't think Bud Dupree is though.
I mean, yeah, it's like us working out now compared to
10
years ago. Like
for sure. I mean, I got to stretch out for 15 minutes.
Oh, dude, my hips. Dude, I didn't know what a hip flexor really was until like I was like,
from all that grinding, Donovan.
All that grinding. It's from all them tacos at Taco Bell at like freaking 11 o'clock. Then trying to hit. I'm going to the gym after the podcast.
Oh, is Taco Bell your pre-workout meal?
No, that's just I work too much and don't have time to cook.
Dude, there's an Arby's right next to my gym, bro. So God. Saturday mornings, I'll wake up.
Protein.
It's bad, dude. I'll wake up. I'll go to the gym. I'll go smash some Arby's. It's so bad, dude.
Have you had the Meat Mountain? What do you think?
The Meat Mountain?
Everyone's shitting on that, dude. So hard.
I haven't had the Meat Mountain yet.
I don't want to have it.
I don't really know what that is.
You haven't seen that yet?
Meat Mountain sounds like an inappropriate. It sounds like that'd be like my porn star name.
Meat Mountain.
Wouldn't that be? That's a dope porn star name, right?
It's like a sandwich this big, and it's just like meat, like all
Meat Mountain. What's wrong with people are shitting on that? What are you talking about? Why?
Because it just looks like why? Like it looks like one of those quadruple decker burgers. Like, dude, come on! Like, just get a double cheeseburger like everybody else. Like, why are you eating a quadruple stack, dude? Like a quad stack. Why are you doing this? Like,
why not, dude? Why not?
I guess why not? It just doesn't look.
It does. It looks really bad.
The aesthetics are not pleasing.
No, well, that's because it's got 85 different kinds of meat on it.
Yeah,
dude.
but strong roast beef.
You just gotta stick with the roast. You just gotta stick with the beef and cheese, bro.
Not a pastrami guy.
Oh, that's disgusting, dude.
So people can see it. Yeah, dude. No, and like that's not the one. I saw the Arby's picture like they put on their Twitter, and it always looks perfect.
Yeah, that's beautiful right there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one I saw. It has the grilled chicken or fried chicken.
Ugh. Yeah. Whatever, dude. What do you expect from a restaurant that's got the meats, dude?
Arby's and Betos, man, are like the same company.
My favorite thing to do is when Justine and I go out to eat is to say the slogan of the place until she gets what I'm doing because she'll forget. So, like, if you go to Olive Garden, Be like, when we're here, we're family. When we're here, we're family. Just say it like whenever you can. Like when the waitress will be like, hey, when we're here, we're family, right? And then she won't figure it out like the sixth time. We went to Applebee's and it's like it's good. It's all good in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So like every time it's all good in the neighborhood. But she's like, why do you keep saying that? What's going on?
Dude, you're a funny guy, man. I want you to know. You're really
do it next time you guys go out to eat and see how long it takes. But
She's
it's gotta
think I'm
gotta
annoying though. I'm like not funny as you. Like
no, dude. We gotta tell that. So when she thinks you're annoying, you just gotta be like, "What are you stupid? Don't you watch Don't you know anything about marketing?"
Oh yeah, true.
You gotta spin it on her, dude.
That's funny. No, you're funny. You're funny though, man. I've always been like, dude, Josh is one of the funniest guys I know. For sure.
I try. So who's your next guy?
Josh Keatley. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's it. Because I named
5'8".
I named a bunch of guys that you had already named. So yeah, that's it. That's all I had really. You just brought up Brett Dupree, who I also had down as my last guy. But yeah, that's it. I think that's it. That's all I have.
So a couple more guys that I had was Leonard Floyd. Again, another 28-year-old guy, very solid. I thought he was solid. Jeff had him on his do not touch list as well. Which
he had a bad playoff game versus the Packers, but I mean that's just the last time I saw him. But I mean, he's good. He did. Yeah, he played. I mean, not even that fake pass, just the whole game was bad. But
no, that's another guy who's going to expect around $14 million a year. Another person on Jefferson's do not touch list. Alden Smith, who's 31 years old. I thought Alden Smith played fantastic this year after sitting out for 4 years, hoping he has his life on straight. And this is a guy that they're projecting to only make $8 million a year. What? He was fantastic, dude.
I don't know if you want to bring that into that locker room.
How do you know if he had?
You don't. He's had too many mess ups to know.
But
he's just
you don't want to risk it. Is what you're saying.
You don't because I feel like the Browns are a guy away, like a 1 or 2 players away, but he might not be there. Like JJ Watt might not be there for injury, but it's not, or Kerrigan, but it's not going to be for his off the field stuff or filling the pot.
That's fair. And Jeff had the same remarks in his article.
I like him. I'm happy he came back and had a good year though. He really did. Did not play for that. It
was impressive. Dude, I don't think he took a snap for like 4 years, bro.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, he did play well. I mean, if you miss out on all these guys, then yeah. I mean,
the other guy's Hassan Reddick, 26 years old. He had a hell of a 2020. Not really the whole 2020, like the last 4 games maybe, but whatever. He was fantastic this season. I don't know if he's going to be super expensive because the first 3 years of his career were utter garbage. So he really exploded on the scene, but he's still young. Someone they're probably going to get around the $9 million range, according to PFF. So yeah, those are the 10 guys.
I like Hassan Reddick. That's a good one. I really think, kind of like Leo Williams, started off really bad as a bust. Now kind of got that resurgence.
Way worse though. I mean, he wasn't seeing the field, dude. Leonard Williams was
playing. Yeah, Leonard Williams still starting.
Hassan Reddick wasn't seeing the field.
But Leonard Williams also got traded though. So which one's worse? Like, I don't know.
Well, they were getting assets from him, right? I don't.
Yeah, true.
I don't feel like
traded to New York.
Yeah, no shit. I feel like if 2 years ago the Cardinals would have tried to trade Hassan Reddick, they weren't getting shit for him.
That's true.
They would have been about as unsuccessful as they were with the Josh Allen trade.
Yeah, Cliff really talked about him. How is a good leader too. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
sure he is, coming from Temple and all that. Yeah. But that's it, man. We said we would keep it nice and short. We're at 48 minutes. This was the Brown Wire podcast. I tell you what, if you leave us a 5-star review, on iTunes, we will answer whatever question. You can DM us, whatever it is, as long as you show us proof that you left us a 5-star review. We will bring up your question. Use your little hashtag, whatever you want to do.
We will pay you. I'm just kidding.
We will do that on next week's show. Jake Burns will be joining us from the OBR. Everybody in Brownsford is very familiar with Jake's work and how great he is. You can find my articles on Browns Wire. Very often I am criticizing and breaking down mock drafts. Haven't had one out in a while, but I'll start to work on that this week. Donovan, what do you got going on?
Yeah, man. Like I said, I did the interview with the former AFC West area scout. So that interview is on TuneIn Sports. and I actually just did I finally did my 2022 class for high school football, top 25 players. That'll come out Saturday because I'm off on Saturday, so I'll be able to finish it.
Awesome.
It should come out Saturday morning for sure. I want to have that come out Saturday morning. High school football kind of coming back for a couple states, so yeah. That's about it. And then this show Browns Wire, should we tell them, Josh? We got a couple. The March Madness is coming up, so.
Oh, dude, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to tell about what we got going on?
Yeah, so in honor of March Madness, because I'm a college basketball junkie, I fill out like 30 brackets a year. Josh probably doesn't, but it's cool. I'm gonna make you do one this year.
I used to do one at work, and I would just
Ohio State's good at basketball this year. They've got one of the.
I heard that
Michigan just beat them. But and Michigan's really good this year. But Ohio State's good. It's like they're a top 20 team.
Really? Someone I think on the radio I heard them say they were going to be a number 1 seed. No.
Oh, it'd probably be a 2 seed. Depends on the Big Ten tournament. They could be a 1 seed. They could be a 3 though. Big Ten's deep. The Big Ten's the best conference this year for basketball. Right? Yeah. It's kind of like football. Big Ten and SEC this year. Usually ACC, but Duke and North Carolina are. But anyway, what we're doing is March Madness style with the top Browns 32 quarterback. We're going to do 64 or 68 like we could with the Browns quarterback.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Basically, all they have had to do is start a game for the Browns. 1.
So we got to make the bracket first.
We got to make the bracket. It's going to be made this weekend. We'll throw it up, and then we'll kind of dissect and talk about it on the show on Tuesday. And then we'll go to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, Final 4, and the number 1. I think the number 1 seed is probably going to be Baker Mayfield, I would say, right?
Well, there'd be 2 number 1 seeds, right?
There'd be 4 number 1 seeds, technically.
In a 32-team bracket?
It would be 4. I mean, yeah, if you break it in 4 regions.
Whatever. You probably Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar be up there. Otto Graham could be up there.
Yeah, Otto Graham.
There's a couple guys, bro. Brian Sipe would definitely be up there.
Yeah. Ken Dorsey's got to be on there.
Yeah.
Brady Quinn.
Oh, my boy Brady
Johnny
Quinn.
Manziel.
Spurgeon Wynn. Trent Dilfer. Jeff Garcia.
See, we got a lot of guys. Who else? Charlie Fry.
Love
Derek Anderson. I feel like he kind of underrated a little bit. Derek Anderson, right? A little bit.
Derek Anderson was overrated. They should have got rid of him when he was. He had a big arm. He just threw it up to Braylon Edwards and Kellen Winslow. That was like that 1 year of greatness in 2017 when they everything meshed really well. So he fit what they were doing really well. And then Kellen Winslow got in trouble, and Brown signed him to an extension. One thing led to another, and Derek Anderson kind of came crashing down. If you remember him at Oregon State, he had a big arm. He always had a giant arm. I mean, I remember playing Madden, his arm strength could be like 99.
Like 90, yeah.
But everything else was like 60. We're also going to do the Cleveland Browns draft. We're going to draft our all-time Cleveland Browns teams. We're going to get 4 people involved here, 4 Browns teams. We're still going to decide how far we're going to take this, if we're going to really draft all 22 people. But we'll see. We're going to work out the kinks, and maybe we'll try to, and then within the next 2 weeks, kind of announce what we're going to do. But yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitter. I'm at Josh Keatley 16, and Don, where can they reach you at?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Don James Sports. I guess I should put my ad on here next time, like you have it.
Dude, yeah, dude, it's dope, right?
Yeah.
Dude, did I tell you that I bought $200 worth of CFL cards over the weekend?
Oh my god, that is not surprising, and also a good time to buy cards right now. Trade CFL cards, I don't know, but it's a good time to buy. It's a good time to buy trading cards. That's a big thing right now. It's coming back.
Well, we were with a couple shows ago with Jeff on. We talked about Art Schleister, the infamous Art Schleister.
Oh yeah,
I wanted to check that out, dude. Check that baby out, bro.
Yeah, I looked him up after the show, and I was like, "Damn, dude."
After I got kicked out of the NFL, Ottawa Rough Riders, baby.
He's like wilder than Johnny Manziel,
dude.
Well, I don't know.
Way wild. No, he is way wilder, bro. Way wilder.
But Johnny has some crazy. Johnny's story is still being written though. He's only 27,
bro.
But yeah, this guy had some crazy stuff.
Oh shit!
I don't want Johnny to have any more crazy stuff. I want him to just.
Oh, you don't want him to end up like Art Schleister, sitting in jail.
No, I do not want that.
No, poor Johnny. But all right, this was the Browns Wire podcast, and we are out.